NALSA Legal Awareness series, we are going to talk about a very pertinent issue, that is domestic violence. Domestic violence is one issue which affects every part of our society, be it rich, be it poor, whatever caste, religion people belong to. So it becomes very important to know what are the legal implications and the legal remedies which are available in case of domestic violence. Prior to 2005, there was no comprehensive act which dealt with domestic violence under one umbrella. There were different provisions such as section 498A IPC, which a woman could take recourse to in case she was harassed for dowry. She could even file a civil suit, or she could go in for matrimonial reliefs such as divorce proceedings or seeking maintenance. In 2005, in our country, for the first time, a comprehensive act was enacted, namely the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, which under one act talks about reliefs which a woman can get and how she can seek those remedies. The basic idea of this law was that without breaking up the homes, a woman is protected from domestic violence so that she can continue within the home yet be protected from domestic violence. If we look at the provisions of this act and basically who would be entitled to protection of this act, domestic violence has been defined in a very broad manner under this act. Any act which a woman perceives as domestic violence to her would be looked upon as domestic violence for the purpose of this act. Broadly, domestic violence has been categorized into four categories, namely physical violence, mental or emotional abuse, sexual violence, and economic abuse. So it could be that a woman is deprived of her salary, a woman is taunted, or she's also subjected to harassment for not bringing sufficient dowry. It could be various kinds of violence that a woman is subjected to within the household. All those would be covered under this act. To seek the relief of this act, it is necessary that the woman who is approaching the court for seeking relief must be in a domestic relationship with the person against whom she comes to the court, meaning they should have been in some kind of a relationship. However, what is significant about this act is that it is not just a woman who is married who can seek relief, but even an unmarried woman can seek relief against her brother or father. A married woman obviously can seek relief against her husband or his relatives, and even in a relationship which is in the nature of marriage, a live-in relationship, there also a woman can seek relief. If a woman was unmarried, the person with whom she is living in is also unmarried, she would be able to take advantage of this act and benefit from it. Or if she was not aware that the respondent was already married, then also she can come under this act. The other condition which is necessary is that both the woman and the persons against whom the case is filed should have stayed in a shared household at some point of time. So if they were not staying together at any point of time, then the woman cannot seek relief of this act. Now, if these conditions are fulfilled, there are certain reliefs which are provided under the act which a woman can avail of. Namely, one is a protection order. Protection order is simply seeking a restraint against the respondents that they do not commit a particular type of domestic violence against the woman. So if a woman is subjected to any domestic violence, she can seek an order from the court restraining the respondent from committing that type of violence against her. Second, she can seek a residence order, which could be of two types. One is that she should not be dispossessed from the house in which she is residing without following due process of law. And second is that her residence in a particular place should be meaningful. So if somebody is committing violence against her, then that person, if he's a male, can be asked to remove himself from the house. Or it could be that if a woman is staying separately, she could seek rent, or she could seek alternative accommodation from her husband. The third type of relief is a custody order. Under this act, a woman can only seek interim custody of the children, such as if she's been thrown out of the house and her children have been kept by the husband or his family. In those circumstances, she can take temporary custody of the children, or then she can seek visitation rights to the children. The fourth and fifth set of reliefs is monetary reliefs, which are basically maintenance. So if a woman is residing separately or maybe within the household but is not getting maintenance, then she can file a case against her husband seeking maintenance, which could cover her living expenses, food, clothes, medical expenses, and she could seek compensation against anyone who has been proved to have committed domestic violence against her. So these are broadly the reliefs which can be sought under the Act. For making these reliefs meaningful, especially like the monetary reliefs, a woman can again file an application before the court, which is called an execution petition. In other cases, even the assistance of police can be sought so that the reliefs are made meaningful for the woman. As far as how a woman can approach a court, she can directly file a petition before the court of a judicial magistrate or metropolitan magistrate under section 12 of the Act, or she can approach a protection officer who can also file a petition on her behalf. Then again the woman can herself approach the court, or then somebody like her family member can file a petition on her behalf, or the protection officer can also file a case on her behalf. If there is some immediate relief which the woman requires, then the court can pass an immediate order for giving relief to the woman. Otherwise, obviously, when the other party enters appearance after hearing both the parties, then only orders are passed. The case can be filed where the woman is residing permanently or temporarily, or where the respondent resides or carries on business, or where the woman has been subjected to domestic violence. So, any of these places the case can be filed, and if the respondent does not come even despite service, then even an ex parte order can be passed by the court. Last, which is very important, is that a woman can also seek legal aid for the purpose of proceeding under the Domestic Violence Act. Now, if a woman cannot afford a private lawyer, or otherwise also, if you look at the Legal Services Authorities Act, all women and children are entitled to free legal aid. So if a woman wants legal aid, she can approach the concerned District Legal Services Authority, or even on the helpline of the Legal Services Authorities, or she could even go to the State Legal Services Authority. There is a format for online application for legal aid. She could avail that, which is under the NALSA website. So she could approach the authority, and a lawyer would be provided to her who would deal with her case in the court. So if any woman is in any kind of requirement, she can always approach the District Legal Services Authority, and she would be provided legal aid for pursuing her case in the court.